Welcome to the podcast, where a passion meets purpose and limits are challenged. I'm your host, Eleonora Gendelman. Let's start bending reality. There's a power so deep, so subtle, and so often missed that most people walk past it their entire lives without ever truly seeing it. The greatest shift never came from force, effort, pressure, or endless doing. It has always existed in the quiet, in the invisible space, in that inner realm where thought takes shape and imagination begins to organize reality. There is a power so extraordinary yet so ignored that humanity overlooks it every single day. It is the power of stillness, the power of resting in what cannot yet be seen, the power of doing absolutely nothing on the outside while receiving everything that once felt out of reach. This is not laziness, this is not avoidance, this is a higher level of creative mastery. It is the place where your inner world becomes the designer of your outer experience. And when we truly understand how to do nothing, we begin to realize how easily life can move in response to us. For generations, we were taught that results come only through struggle, through pushing harder, through effort, through working more, through exhaustion, through running ourselves into the ground. But life does not respond to exhaustion. It responds to clarity. It responds to inner certainty. It responds to the quiet movement of conviction. It responds to the one who can step back from the frantic noise of the world and settle into the knowing of what already exists within. Doing nothing is not passive. It is the act of withdrawing your energy from conditions, appearances, doubts, and fears until only the assumption you choose remains alive within you. To do nothing means you stop feeding the problem and begin giving your attention to the reality you actually want. Everything begins in the unseen. Every event, every meeting, every opportunity, every expression of abundance, every healing. Before anything becomes visible in the outer world, it is first born in the invisible realm of imagination. And once we understand that, we stop trying to fix the world physically and begin changing the course of the world mentally. We realize that if we want to receive everything, we first have to learn how to rest in the feeling of already having it. The outer world is only an echo, and an echo cannot appear until the original sound has been made. You are the one creating the sound. Your imagination is that sound. Your assumption is that sound. Your feeling of already being, having, or living what you desire, that is the sound. And once that sound is formed within, the echo appears on its own. No strain, no forcing, no battle. This is why doing nothing can be more powerful than doing everything. Because when we do nothing, we are not inactive. We are inwardly active in the most focused way possible. We become the ones directing the unseen scene. We stop trying to repair the world and fix circumstances. We simply choose what the world must now reflect. We stop fighting circumstances. We choose the state we live from. We stop chasing results. And instead, results begin finding us. Life begins to reverse itself. Instead of running after our desires, we allow our desires to move towards us. The moment we accept them within, they begin moving towards us without. There's a sacred ease that appears the moment we stop trying to force manifestation and begin resting in fulfillment. And fulfillment is not a wish. It is not a hope. It is not a maybe. It is the felt knowing that what you desire is already done. Once you enter that state, you stop looking for signs. You stop asking when. You stop obsessing over how, where, or through whom it will happen. Those questions belong to the world of effort. You are now operating from the world of being. And being requires no strain. Being is effortless. Being is natural. Imagine sitting quietly and simply knowing that what you want is already yours. Imagine the calm that would settle into your chest, the softness of your breath, the steadiness in your body, the peace moving through your mind. That peace is the creative act. That peace is the command. That peace is what shapes what comes next. Every time you return to that peace and feel your desire as though it were already complete, you are doing more than endless physical action could ever accomplish. You are touching the root. You are rewriting the script. You are becoming the author instead of the character who just reacts. Doing nothing means you draw your senses away from the outside world and return to the inner world, the only place where real creation actually happens. You stop handing your power over to circumstances. You stop reacting to the world. You begin instructing it. You stop begging life to change. You assume the change within and allow life to catch up. And once you see this, life becomes much easier. Life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are the projector, not the screen. And the moment you stop adjusting the screen and start changing the projection, everything changes without force. People chase success, but success is a state. People chase love, but love is a state. People chase money, but money is a state. People chase opportunities, but opportunities are states too. Every one of those states is available to you now, and you enter them by assuming the feeling of the wish already fulfilled. When you fully enter a state, your world has to rearrange itself to match it. That rearrangement may look like luck. It may look like timing. It may look like coincidence, synchronicity, or divine orchestration. But beneath all of that, it is law. The most powerful people in history were not necessarily the ones who worked the hardest. They were the ones who understood invisible law, whether knowingly or unknowingly. They were the ones who felt themselves to be extraordinary before the world ever gave them proof. They lived from the feeling of already being who they wished to become. They knew how to enter silence, how to retreat into imagination, how to occupy the end so completely that it had no choice but to become physical fact. Doing nothing does not mean sitting around with an empty mind. It means entering a deep inner stillness where imagination becomes more real than what the senses report. It means living from the end so completely that the outer world bends around your inner certainty. It means refusing to react to appearances, because appearances are only old reflections that haven't yet caught up with your new state. It means resting in the truth that what you desire is already yours before the senses confirm it. That rest, that relaxation, that inner ease, that is creative power. The world may call this delusion. It may call it fantasy. It may call it madness. That is because the world has been taught that only physical effort gets results. But you have seen people work endlessly and still struggle. You have seen people do everything right and still remain stuck. And you have also seen people move through life with ease. Opportunities come to them, blessings find them, doors open without strain. Why? Not because they pushed hard, but because they were aligned. Not because they labored more, but because of their state of consciousness. They learned the secret of doing very little outwardly while doing everything inwardly. Your inner world is the cause. Your outer world is the effect. Most people live backward. They try to change the effect without ever touching the cause. They rearrange the surface while ignoring the depth. But when you work in the depth, the surface changes by itself. The moment you stop trying to control life through force and begin changing your inner assumptions, life must respond. It cannot do otherwise. This is law. There is an art of doing nothing. It is the art of relaxing into your new identity. You do not push yourself into the feeling, you gently allow it. You let it settle over you softly, naturally, as though it were the most obvious truth in the world. And the more effortless it feels, the more powerful it becomes. The moment you stop trying to manifest is often the moment manifestation begins. The moment you stop chasing is often the moment you are found. The moment you stop forcing is the moment life starts to flow. Look at nature. Does a seed struggle to become a tree? Does the sun force itself to rise? Does the tide fight its way to the shore? Everything in nature unfolds through ease, timing, and inevitability. Creation is effortless by nature. Only humans have been conditioned to believe that struggle is required. But struggle is only necessary when imagination is being misused. Struggle happens when you try to achieve through action what you have not yet claimed inwardly through assumption. Once you assume the result within, action becomes inspired and often surprisingly minimal. Life fills in the rest. When you want something, you always have two paths. You can chase it or you can become it. Chasing is exhausting. Becoming is effortless. Chasing creates anxiety. Becoming creates certainty. Chasing tries to force life. Becoming allows life to respond. The moment you become inwardly what you wish to see outwardly, the world mirrors you precisely. Doing nothing is the quiet act of becoming. Inwardly, decisively, silently. You must learn to sit in silence and ask yourself, if this were already mine, how would I feel right now? What would my inner conversation sound like? How would my body soften? How would my breathing change? How would I see myself? The moment you embody those answers, even briefly, creation begins. A few seconds of real conviction carry more power than hours of frantic action. The inner world does not need time. The moment you assume a state, you enter it. Time is only needed for the outer world to catch up. But within you, the shift is immediate. That is why doing nothing is so powerful, because it works directly in the realm of cause. And when the cause changes, the effect must follow. That is inevitable. People often ask, if I stop acting, won't nothing happen? But when you rest in fulfillment, action will still come. Only now it will come naturally. It will be aligned. It will be minimal. It will be easy. You will be moved from within. You will find yourself doing exactly what is needed, without confusion, without force, without inner conflict. The steps may look small, but they will lead somewhere extraordinary because they are being taken from a state of already having, not from a state of lack. The power of doing nothing is the power of trusting the unseen more than the seen. It is the power of believing your inner world more than the outer world. It is the power of resting in assumption until assumption becomes fact. You are not meant to struggle your way into abundance, or love, or health, or success. You are meant to assume the state and allow the world to reflect it. The world does not create you. Your state creates the world you experience. Every single thing you have ever manifested, pleasant or painful, arrived effortlessly the moment you accept it as true. Think about the times you just knew something would go wrong. And it did. Think of the moments you felt certain something beautiful was about to happen. And it arrived with ease. The creative power never changes. Only the direction of your use of it changes. When you direct it consciously, you receive consciously. When you direct it unconsciously, you receive unconsciously. But either way, you are always receiving. You're always creating. You cannot stop manifesting. You can only stop doing it on purpose. The power of doing nothing brings you back into conscious creation. It returns you to awareness of your own authority. It brings you out of the noise and back into the throne of your own imagination. It reminds you that you do not need to fight for what is already yours. If you desire it, then it already exists as a possibility for you. Your task is not to force it. Your task is to align with it inwardly. Everything else unfolds by itself. The world is a mirror. When you smile, it smiles. When you assume abundance, it reflects abundance. When you assume love, it reflects love. When you assume success, it reflects success. There are no exceptions. The mirror has no power to initiate. It only reflects. And when you do nothing outwardly while assuming everything inwardly, the mirror reflects your chosen state with exact precision. So let the noise of the world fade. Let other people's opinions lose their grip. Let your doubts melt like mist under morning light. Enter the stillness within, and from that stillness, choose your state. Claim it, feel it, become it. If this spoke to you and you're ready to close the gap between where you are and where you truly want to be, I invite you to book a complimentary exploratory coaching session with me. This is a space for us to look at what may be holding you back, what you really desire, and how we can begin moving you towards the life you want to live. You will find the booking link in the show notes. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and share with someone who would benefit as well. Thank you for choosing yourself, doing the work, and creating change. Keep living with purpose.